The Lord of the Rings saw Aragorn call upon the King of the Dead, so who was he when he was alive? Now this guy was invaluable in Aragorn's victory, since his army of dead men defeated the Corsairs of Umbar, ensuring they could not join the enemy in the battle. Of course, this was the end of this Lord of the Rings character's story, but there was a lot more that happened before that Return of the King didn't cover. The Return of the King movie reveals that the spirits of this haunted mountain owed a debt to Isildur's line since they did not fight for Gondor's king as promised. Back during the end of the Second Age, over 3,000 years before the events of the Lord of the Rings, the Dead King was the living ruler of the Mountain Kingdom. Though his name is unknown, his home was located near the White Mountains. Like most men of Middle-earth at this time, the Mountain Men worshipped Sauron. However, when Elendil and Isildur set up shop in the newly established kingdoms of Arnor and Gondor, the king of the Mountain Men knew he had no choice but to swear allegiance. Sauron still hadn't reappeared, and these high men were a more immediate threat. He was bound by his oath to support Isildur with his army were he ever to be called upon. This finally happened leading up to the last alliance of elves and men. Since the Mountain Men had worshipped Sauron during the Dark Age, they were unwilling to turn against him, so they ignored Isildur's summons. Before heading out for war, Isildur cursed the Mountain King and his men, stating that there would be no king after the man's death, and that he and his people would have no rest until they answered a call to aid Gondor. And then finally, thousands of years later in Lord of the Rings, Isildur's heir, Aragorn, called on them and the Dead King's oath was fulfilled.